Okay, we're back. And I've given it some thought, and I think that we're going to go to slime pits. And my reasoning for that is we really need the loot. Hopefully we can find something. Something, you know, some kind of artifact with a couple resistances on it would just be great. Or even just one. Maybe some gloves of fire resistance or something like that. We're gonna swap on Ring of Ice, but not yet. We'll swap it on for for the Ring of Wizardry. We'll swap that off and swap Ice on if we see any Azure jellies. And of course we'll swap it on when we go to TRJ. The way that we're going to kill TRJ is we're just going to buff up and do it in melee. Oh, right. We're also going to swap on Resist Corrosion for Wizardry. And we can still Orb of Destruction at 5%, so it's not too bad. Well, that's quite a lot of slimes. But that's okay. Now, one of the downsides of fighting TRJ on Mokleb is that we will not get healed by the by the enemies that show up when you hit them, because they are summoned. They're considered summoned anyway. So you don't get experience, and you don't get Mokleb heals as far as I can remember. So something to keep in mind. Well, we got malmutated, unfortunately. Oh, wow. He survived. We're getting malmutated a lot. That's unfortunate. Our Orb of Destruction is going to be less powerful now. And unfortunately, it does burn through our Spell Hunger pretty quickly. But that's just something we're going to have to put up with for a little while. Oh, whoops. I am out of mana. Wow, what a lot of acid slimes. Let's see if we can catch them in some fire. Looks like this isn't really going to work out. Okay. That's one more acid slime than I would have liked to have pulled here. Playing a bit risky here. Let's berserk. And we'll take this out pretty easily. Shouldn't have pulled two of those. We should have been more careful and only pulled one. This is definitely the kind of place where you want to be careful. Because things can go very bad very quickly in slime pits. Trying to kill the Orbs of Eyes as quickly as I can because they only have a 1% chance of paralyzing me, but as we know, and as I've explained many times, it's best to treat that as though it was 100%. Okay, cool. We are already on the 5th floor. Very easy to get confused here. Oh, That golden eye went into a teleport trap, apparently. Let's try to kill these things one at a time. There's nothing here that can do damage to me, so... let's just remember that these guys are not resistant to poison, so we'll do that and maybe confuse some. But yeah, we want to really try to avoid getting confused if anything's around that can damage us. But thankfully, there wasn't really. And it's good to stay on a staircase or right next to one if those things are around. In any case, because, well, it's not good to be confused. We have 9 curing, though, so I'm relying on Orb of Destruction for these guys because it's more guaranteed to do some damage to them, even if it is creating quite a lot of spell hunger. Okay. Let's go back to the staircase. And now we can orb a few times and swing and kill. Not half bad. Really have eaten through quite a lot of meat here, though. I mean, no avoiding it really, unless we train more spellcasting. Which we probably will eventually. So here's the real problem. One thing that we would really like to do is we'd like to have allies when we kill TRJ, especially if we're doing it in melee. But the issue is that Greater Servants can show up hostile. Still at 3%. It's unlikely, but, you know, it's fine because we have Scrolls of Blinking, so if something goes horribly wrong, we can get out. But it's something to keep in mind. You know, we could be using the melee trick to kill TRJ, the hallway thing, and then we could end up with a hostile executioner next to us, so that's not good. But I am going to use Greater Servant. Okay, so TRJ has woken up. We need to find another way down. Unfortunately, this looks like it is a split level, so we need to come down another way. Wow. Okay, well that's certainly something. Wow. This would be a good candidate for Rue's Apocalypse if we were worshipping Rue. That's outrageous. Quite a lot of nasty things there. Not really something I want to deal with. I think I'm gonna, what do we want to do here? I think I really am gonna dig this entire path. Because we have some recharging, quite a lot actually. And this way we can have an easier time. Let's get to a staircase. Not likely that we would take too much damage while walking backwards from those things with our core. But you can, so always good to have a blink scroll or something. Just something in the something you've kept as backup, ideally a blink scroll. I may have to grab some food, but there is a lot of permafood lying around, so we're not in too much trouble. I just gotta stop spamming so much. Okay, we're gonna put that Ring of Ice on now. Cool. Oh man. Unfortunately, I don't have another, I don't have enough mana. I don't have enough mana to blast again. Or to Orb of Destruction again. This is really obnoxious. I don't really want to be running backwards from a Shining Eye. It's not my idea of a good time, eating all these Malmutates. But that's okay. We have 12 potions of mutation, which is a ton. So we'll probably be able to get out of this just fine. Oh, well, he's big now. Let's paralyze him. Useful trick for Titanic slimes if they have merged like this. Just paralyze them. Use hexes. Their MR doesn't go up, so you know, I'm not really gonna have a problem as long as you remember you can do that. By the time you're facing them, you oh man. By the time you're facing Titanic slimes, you should have some hexes around. Doesn't really work on acid blobs, though. Jeez. I may have to use a blink scroll. Let's just see if we take more damage. We're going to try to walk to the staircase, the one that we have identified. Okay, that's not so bad. And let's just, you know, we have 9 nets, or 8 nets. Let's just use one. Contrary to what makes sense, you can, in fact, use nets on jellies. I'm not sure why. One would think they could flow out of it, but maybe they're just too, like, viscous. Anyway, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to swing and kill this thing. There we go, and he's dead. I'll just get malmutated even more. Wow, look at all those really, really bad. Oh, we have teleportitis. I should have been paying more attention to that. Okay, this can very easily get you killed in here, so I'm going to malmutate. I'm going to take mutation potions until that's gone. The first one did it, so I'll go down. And, well, you know, I'm going to drink another one, because I want to get these spells. First of all, I wanted to get Deterioration off, but I want to get these things that are hurting my ability to cast off. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's fine. Those are pretty good. That's funny. We have a lot of Ox attacks now, but we can't really use them because we're wearing armor and we're not going to stop. Okay, that's fine. I guess being able to blink is okay. It's not like we've come across the spell yet, so. Yeah, sometimes Orb of Destruction will just miss. Okay. I was kind of hoping I would get a resistance out of this. And wow, we have run into a lot of Shining Eyes. Is this like the 5th one, maybe? I mean, it's a lot. Not exactly a normal number of Shining Eyes, I mean. Well, you can run into plenty of them, so it's not too out of the ordinary, I guess. Oh man, they're taking hits for each other. And it's just a matter of remembering to swap things on. We certainly don't want to fight an Azure Jelly in melee without having RC+. And the more you come down here, the more you'll clear it out a bit. But you know what? I am in fact going to pick up some bread. Oh, wow. Wow, man, there were two waiting for me. Jeez. And I'll even buy some bread, because I get the feeling this is going to be one of those games where food is just a little bit annoying if I don't train up, spell casting at all, especially. Running into a few things in vaults here as I gather up the bread. Okay, that should be sufficient. Let's go back into slime. Okay, so we'll just auto-explore a bit. We don't want to fight TRJ outside of the little column system here, like the center structure. Oh, wow, really? That's cool. Well, I guess we have this teleporter here, which is nice. Didn't really take us to a great spot, unfortunately. We may have to blow a teleport. Yeah, we don't want to fight TRG out here because it'll just make a ton of friends, and we don't even want to let him hit us even once because he might miss, and then we'll riposte, and then we'll be surrounded by just nasty things. Okay, cool. Jeez. That is 3 in a row that have missed. Oh, man. And we have 12 corrosion. I'm going to try to mind control these things. Or enslave, I guess it's called. Okay, there we go. Now this is not so bad even with the corrosion. Okay. Just taking a look at these mutation sets we've got here. I don't have Pro Magic on anymore because I'll just swap it on if I run into anything that's bad for that. Let's see if we... Okay, cool. The center is clear now. Alright, and, you know, while we're here, and we have a chance to at least examine what we will hopefully be wearing soon, I'm going to take a look at this loot here in a second once I clear out this stuff. Because you do, now that the walls are clear, you get a bit of a chance to preview just what's going on in here. Okay. Let's put that ring of ice back on. So let's just take a look. So, Storm Dragon Scales, unfortunately, can't wear. Artifact Amulet, that could be something good. Firestarter, which doesn't really do us much good, but I mean, I guess we could sort of put it on as a stat stick. Feel is always nice to have. I see another artifact ring. Some books. 2 artifact rings, actually. Yeah, we might have some useful things here, possibly. Getting a little tired. Oh, I had a haste potion, so we'll have a haste potion that replenishes the one we definitely will use in this fight, so that's nice. So now it's just a matter of, you know... Oh, there he is. Okay, good, he sees us. Let's haste. Walk backwards. Let's... Okay, hold on. He can walk backwards. This is not the best spot for this. We need to be elsewhere. We need to be all the way... Here is pretty good. The goal is to be able to surround the squares with buddies. Okay, so we'll agility, we'll might, we'll resistance, because now we have 2 pips of cold resistance. I guess I could put, like, I don't need that ring of resist corrosion now, but I don't want to take the time to swap it off. But we're pretty much in a spot where we can kill him now. And the only problem is that we don't have buddies, so let's rectify that. We'll make a friend as soon as he's next to us. Got a friend, got another friend. Let's move this way. Oh, wow. We just took like 50 damage. Jeez. Come on with this, man. That had to be... Was that a max damage hit or close to it? No. Let's take a look. How many times did he hit us? He hit us 3 times. That's ludicrous. Well, I guess we also took some damage from making 2 of these guys. I want to try a net. It misses. That's very bad. I'll try again. Okay, he's caught in the net. Good. Let's just swing. If we kill him, we will get a lot of hit points back. Probably. Hecademon's dead. That's not good. Let's make a friend. Cool. We really don't want these guys coming through. Swing again. If we go any lower, we're probably going to have to start blinking away. It's miserable. I should have used the Lamp of Fire, actually. Oh, this is a bit of a misplay. Net it again. We'll Lamp of Fire. Jeez. 42 damage. Man. I'm gonna swing. This is really, really risky, though. Okay, whew, alright, it's dead. Which is not to say we're totally safe, but pretty close to it because I can just blink out. Yeah, we could have died at any moment there. I don't know if that was... I mean, it probably wasn't optimal. I'm sure that there was a way to do that that didn't involve such a risk. We're not hasted anymore, so we want to... Somehow these things are not seeing us, even though I've trained, like, no stealth. But that's okay. I'm not going to complain. Alright, yeah, the haste just ended. Anyway, wow. Okay, so that was risky, because acid blobs could do 42 damage. Actually more, because we're lacking a body slot, so acid does a little extra damage to us. I'm not really sure what we could have done to improve that, other than use the Lamp of Fire earlier, which we should have, especially once we had him netted. But on the other hand, I was reticent to use the Lamp of Fire until my servants were gone, because I didn't want to make them hostile, and it tends to blow all over the place in weird ways. So, I mean, in terms of the fight itself, I'm not really sure how we could have optimized that more, but I'm certain that there's probably a way. There are some other strategies we could have used, like trying to forcefully make him make a lot of guys and then immolate. Like, we could have possibly done like an orb of destruction type thing, but that might have just been another disaster. But we won. I mean, that's the important thing. I just don't think we won cleanly. And by cleanly, I mean in a way that guaranteed we wouldn't lose. which is obviously something we want to strive for on a character where we're trying to maximize win rate. Probably the more optimal move for that fight was simply not to do it yet. If we had gone into like crypts, I think we probably would have had an easier time than with TRJ. I mean, this is just kind of a post-analysis, I guess. But I definitely think it's important to take note that I could have died there, and the only thing that stopped me from dying was just luck of the draw. And that means that 9 times out of 10, if you are in a situation where you need to rely on luck not to die in any way, like if the next move is, you know, if the next move goes badly and then you die because of it, then you've probably misplayed somehow. Somehow or another, you've probably misplayed if it's a choice between, okay, I'm going to swing, and if I don't hit, I'm going to die. Or I'm going to swing, and if I miss, and he does max damage with his next hit, I die. Something like that. That generally means you made a mistake. Not always, but usually. Yeah, there are some exceptions in like the early game. Well, we got well rewarded. Geez, we can drop this ring of ice. Oh my gosh, this ring's absurd. Good God. We can drop that. We can drop this ring of protection for magic. We have +2 now from one item. And we'll be wearing that forever. Let's identify this amulet. Oh my god, it's total crap. We're not going to wear a -5 slay amulet. Not just for Guardian Spirit. I don't think so. Pick up the feel. I don't think I'm going to pick up Firestarter just for a stat stick, as funny as that is. We already have one Ring of Protection from Fire, so that's okay. We will, of course, get the Box of Beasts. Wow. We found 2 rings that are good in very similar ways. I don't think I'm going to wear it, though. I don't really need MP +9, and it gives... That's some interesting how the RNG does this sometimes. Like, both of these rings have all 3 of RC+, RLEC, and at least MR+. That's, you know, it's interesting. Grand Grimoire. We have finally found my favorite spell again, Malign Gateway. But we will not be casting it this game, unfortunately. Found it a little bit too late. Just a little bit. If we had found that back in Lair, I probably would have become a summoner. Oh, +11 dagger, that's interesting, I guess. I kind of like to speculatively identify artifacts. I think I've mentioned this previously, just in case it might be something with like amazing stats. You know, some kind of like RF+++ or something. Just in case. Something I could swap on while fighting Orbs of Fire. Or even Minus Tela can be useful to just carry around for certain reasons. But yeah, I think we've pretty much, we pretty much cleared this out. I guess I'll identify the magic staves. That looks like we're just about done here. So I'll go back into vaults. Let's see where crypts are. Crypts is in vaults too. But yeah, I will say that as a Draconian especially, I absolutely hate going into melee with TRJ. I only did it here because, well, Orb of Destruction our Orb of Destruction is a bit weak, and we just, it just wouldn't have worked for us. Okay, now before I sign off here, I want to take a look at some things. My mutation set is good. I'm not prone to playing mutation roulette except with maybe one piece of meat early in the game. But I mean, at this point in the game, even though I do have quite a pile of potions of mutation, I don't think I'm gonna play roulette with this. It's it's a decent set. And I even have Blink, which could come in handy. I don't think it will, but maybe. But yeah, I think that's just about it. Decent loot haul from Slime. I mean, this ring alone was definitely worth it. But I am going to put some thought into what I could have done differently in that fight. I still think that the right move for this character was to go into Crypts first. As far as the actual fight with TRG goes, I think I probably should have just blinked out as soon as I went below 100 hit points. Oh, actually, one important thing that was a strict misplay. I didn't cast Regeneration. And that, of course, that's the move, I also probably should have cast Azakubu's armor because I wasn't really moving anywhere for a while there. And having more AC is always good. But, I mean, this is one of those reasons I'm not really partial to these sorts of buff spells, because as amazing and useful as they are, I tend to forget to cast them. It's almost like I just kind of forget that they're in my arsenal. So, they may be incredibly useful for your playstyle, but for mine, I'm just too forgetful. But with that said, I think that we're done here, and next time we'll almost certainly go into Crypts for some free experience, or relatively free, and maybe even some more loot. Until then, I am signing off.